Hey everybody, the 1-year anniversary birthday bash of the Grunge Bible Podcast rolls on as we continue through the month of March. And in case you didn't know, all month long, if you join the Grunge Bible Patreon, you are automatically entered to win some really cool prizes that we are offering up to those who make this podcast possible.
We teamed up with Chris Cornell, one of our good friends, an incredible photographer, and he has graciously donated a print of Pearl Jam, Chris Cornell, and Nirvana. And in that order, the $2, $5, and $10 levels of Patreon. So, there is a specific print for each level. So take a look, see which one fits your budget, fits your likeness, and then enter in and be not only a supporter, but have a chance to win some awesome gifts as well as some Grunge Bible merchandise in that top tier.
It's as simple as that. If you want your hands on one of those prints, you go and you join the Grunge Bible Patreon at any of those levels. You have the opportunity to win one of those prizes and enter by the end of the month. Last day of the month, we're going to pick the winners on April 1st. So we hope that you join us over on Patreon because we hope to be able to give you a nice print.
Yeah, Chris, and that's no April Fool's joke. We actually are going to be...
That's no joke. There's no funny stuff around here.
It's ironic. I know you'd expect us to maybe do something like send a Nickelback print, but we are, in fact,
we might do that
to,
in addition, but...
Yeah. I mean, Chris, this would be a no-brainer for me. If I was not a Patreon supporter for the Grunge Bible Podcast...
$2.
And I listen, I would easily scrounge together $2. And I would just keep it for the year. I would go,
Absolutely.
That's $24 for the year.
This is not the only time we will be doing this.
No, this is not the only time. So just get in there. It's a no-brainer.
So now, Ethan, I think it's time we get into episode 52 of the Grunge Bible Podcast. We're kicking off phase 2. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, welcome back. We did it.
Here we are.
Phase 2, baby. It's been a whole year, Chris. My name is Ethan Shalloway, as normal, and Chris, you're looking great. It's a
Happy
Monday
too.
Happy Monday
now.
Yeah, we're coming off the heels.
In the Monday zone.
We're coming off the heels of it's literally released. We're recording on Monday and we're releasing it on Monday. We're coming off the heels. Coming off the heels of a great weekend we had with each other. So we have a lot to talk about, not only about this past year of podcasting, the music that we've listened to and loved for so long, but also some good stories from this weekend and just hanging out together, just some good fellowship.
Absolutely. I mean, there's not many things in this world that wind my clock quite like some quality fellowship. And that's what this weekend was all about. So I came down to Birmingham, Alabama for the first time. And visited you down there for the first time. I met the friends, the training partners, the colleagues, the dog. I got the whole thing. It was great.
Yeah, I made a point. You literally met my boss, my coworkers, my employees, or not my employees, but you know what I mean. Like you met everybody.
Awesome.
And it was awesome. It was really cool. I love intersecting worlds. We talk about this a lot, but there's nothing better, especially if you're a traveler and you move around. There's nothing better than having like old friends meet new friends, old circles meet new circles, and just the people that you grow with see the next step and where you're at and stuff. It's such a cool experience that I don't think will ever get old for me.
Yeah, and it's super important. I think certainly both of us, and I imagine a lot of us listening, we have really, really close friends that we don't live in proximity to, and it's so important to be able to, if you're able to get out there and visit your old friends, your longtime friends, when they're in their current elements that are different from the ones that you knew them in. And it's just really cool because if someone's special to you and you know they're a good person, chances are the people that they have set up their current life with are also really good people. And that rings true all weekend long. And when you've come up to my neck of the woods, hopefully that's been true about the people that I frequent with. And,
absolutely.
That's what it's all about, man. It's, life's about people. That's just about people.
Yeah, it is. It's about people and interactions. And we actually, the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships were here. So not only did you see like my day-to-day, but then we also had some people throughout the past 5 years of our lives from different universities. Everybody came together in one area. So it was like, it's like a concert.
Cool part. Like we're track guys.
We are.
Like we're into this shit. We still are. And it was just super cool.
Yeah, I mean, you saw some old teammates, like, kind of ran into some random people you wouldn't expect.
You never know who's going to be there.
Yep, we had another old teammate that we spent some another high quality time with throughout the weekend. So man, we're just gassed up, and it's one of those things where we're like, did we get a lot of sleep? No, but
you can always get more later.
But we were energized. Yeah, like I mean, are you tired? I mean, of course we're tired today, but it doesn't
matter. I would have been tired anyways.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fix that on a Monday, but
there's some days the midnight oil is well worth the burn, and that was true this weekend. So it's it was so much fun, and now we kind of get back into the swing of things, and have to plan the next trip.
I know. There's a lot of good stuff to plan around, I guess, as thinking like concerts and stuff, but I'm glad that we just did it this time, Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to go.
Sometimes you got to drive yourself.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it was a really, really good weekend. A great start to the springtime. As far as I'm concerned, spring is here. And what's also here is phase 2 of the Grunge Bible Podcast experience and this whole thing that we have going on. So this is our 52nd episode. On March 19th, that was our birthday. We started this podcast March 19th, 2021. This is coming out on March 21st, 2022. And if there's one thing that's true about the Grunge Bible Podcast is that we wouldn't have gotten to 30 or 40 or 52 if it wasn't for the Grunge Bible Patreon supporters. So today, as usual, we have some people that we'd like to thank that are making it possible. And since the last recording, we do have a new member of the $2 tier. So we would like to thank Nathalie Chavez for hopping in there. And they're automatically entered to win the Chris Cornell print. So people are already starting to join up. Those odds are get in while the going's good, because we're picking the winner at the end of the month.
Hell yeah. I mean, we had somebody who also had a bump. Somebody bumped up to the top tier because I think they want that Nirvana. They want that Nirvana.
Was none other than the great Nikki Six. So Nikki Six took the leap of faith from the $2 to the $10 tier. So we will now say, as much as it, much to my chagrin, I have to thank the great Nikki Six for their contributions. And we will do that today. And Nikki Six is joined by Kara K, The Blue Owl, Jade Mercado, Victor Schaefer, Release, Doug Endy, Wayne Staley, Rachel Corning, Millie, Alexis Shannon, Fuck Soup, What the Fuck's Up Denny's, Jamie Lynn, our number one fan from Australia, Kayla Jean, Marianne, Millie, Sonny Mashburn, Sue, Shannon Gorgon, and Laura Nyreen. So here's to 1 year of the Grunge Bible Podcast. A lot of those individuals have been with us from the beginning, and I don't know what to say about it.
A lot of those people, I mean, the Patreon started a little bit before the podcast started rolling out.
That's how much faith they had in us.
Well, yeah, and there were people that they showed support for.
Well, that's how financially irresponsible they are, one or the other.
Yeah, they can donate. Yeah, they can donate to two measly, podcasters. But absolutely, we have. I would, we've improved this whole year. There's been a lot of growth, and I think we've really enjoyed growing too. Like I feel a lot more confident. I love having good conversations with you, obviously. So it's been cool to kind of produce it in a way. And obviously we have Drew, who's been doing an incredible job with us and been there.
Stalwart.
Without the the patrons and Drew, I mean those two guys, those two groups.
Yeah, I would be wholly unprepared to deal with the intricacies of editing and mastering. And production.
Mastering. So. My dad just goes out.
What is mastering? Nobody knows.
My dad just goes to work and come home. He says he masters all day. It's crazy.
The world may never know.
It's a funny joke.
You're totally right. 1 year, a lot of growth. Are there any elements of that growth or that process that kind of stick out to you that you're proud of, or that you feel that you've gotten a lot better at, or a lot more comfortable with, or maybe certain aspects that you enjoy now a little bit more than when you started? Or what's the philosophy here? What's the thought?
I think, that's kind of a loaded question. I think that if I actually should go back and listen to some of the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
And I would like to believe that I don't maybe stutter and add filler words as much. I feel like I've consciously think about that sometimes. Obviously, not all the time, but I feel like I've gotten better. And I mean, we haven't had we still have cuts here and there that need to be made, but they're pretty fluid through our conversation. So I don't know. I think my inflection has increased. In the beginning, like you're so worried about saying the right things, and then like as it goes,
Totally.
I had to remind myself to like, okay, remember personality. That stuff's important just as much as the because they're listening, and for hopefully it's entertaining. So
Yeah.
I don't know. How about you? Do you feel like there's anything that really sticks out to you?
I definitely think I'd like to think that I know my way around this neighborhood a little bit better at this point, in the sense of just kind of the cadence of the show and different areas to go to, and just the back and forth. And we have a really good rhythm at this point as to when I speak or when I know you're going to jump in. Like we can just kind of tell at this point, which is super cool. But I think things that I'm proud of. I mean, obviously, I think the consistency of this year, having gone the whole year with consistent releases. I also think the level to which we share certain things about us, and I think we do a good job of letting our personalities kind of come through. And like I said a couple episodes ago, we've gotten a few messages from some listeners saying that when they listen, they feel like they're having a conversation with their friends, and to me, that's the greatest accomplishment. As I said earlier, that's the greatest accomplishment of this past year, and nothing could ever surpass that for me, because it's just like the page. It's a community, and this is just another house in the community that people can saunter on into and spend some time in. So that's what I'm most proud of. It seems like we're staying true, and
Right.
and that we're of some semblance of value for people. It's always a cool thing.
I think another impressive thing is we've done this all via Zoom too.
Yeah.
And because like you said, like we do a good job of not cutting in and cutting out, which I've actually heard from one of the people I listen to, they say it's harder to do all this because you actually can't interrupt. It's like a double-edged sword, because one,
it totally
like,
is.
because like we obviously you like have the floor and then you pass it on and they have the floor. When you're in a room, like you cut off more, and I think it adds for maybe a little bit more raw, but
Yeah.
I don't know what would be better, because we didn't ever, we haven't ever podcasted in the same room, legit. And it's funny because it's not even really because of the pandemic that we're doing this.
Yeah, we
because
just don't live at all near one another.
we physically don't have the ability to do that. But I wonder how different it would be, like if we did live together and we were in the same room and had like a studio. Like,
Yeah,
I'd assume it'd be
definitely think-
easier.
Yeah, I think it would have been easier at the beginning. I think we would have found some stride a little bit easier, a little bit more quickly. Just because, well, even when you're having a conversation with somebody, nonverbal communication is so big in the way that it informs the flow of the conversation. For example, you can even just tell by how big someone's eyes get, or what their eyebrows are doing, or the looks that you give. And it's like, hey, I have something I want to jump in here and say.
Yeah.
And that you definitely lose a little bit of that when you're doing it over the Zoom. But I think also we know each other so well, and we've been friends for a real long time now, that any potential roadblock from not being in the same room is kind of we kind of jump over those pretty quickly, just because I think we know each other really well, and we have spent a decent amount of time having conversations with one another over the last, I don't know, 7-8 years. So
Yeah. And I think as it stands today, in the first year we had 75,000 downloads. That's pretty good.
seems like a lot to me.
Yeah, I would say I think it's hard. It's really hard to quantify some stuff like this, but I'm proud of that. I think that's good. And it's obviously like increased a ton, and kind of steady progression and stuff, and it's good.
Yeah, we're
Is that a good number?
Doorknob.
Is that a good number, Chris, for you? 75,000.
That's a good number. I like that number. I see that number.
It's a clean number too, which is cool.
It's very clean. It's
clean.
very clean. If it was like 78 kind of sucks. 75 is a good number. It's nice and sturdy. So I'm happy that we're in that range. And it was funny. So before we got on here, kind of with an eye towards what we were going to discuss here, I went back and looked through all of the episodes and the titles and the different things that we discussed. I honestly forgot some of the topics that we did and some of the albums that we did. I think I saw that we did an episode on Facelift from Alice in Chains, and I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either, to be honest.
Just looking back, and it seems like we have a few different genres of shows. We have the reviews, the Q&As, we have the interviews, and we kind of have these like variety episodes where there's like 3 or 4 different topics, and then we also have some of those activity episodes like build your own set list, or the Grunge Olympics. You build your Olympic roster. So those are all pretty fun. But I think for me, if I were to pick like a couple of episodes that I, 1, enjoyed doing, and 2, think they were good, because sometimes I don't feel that all of them are good. I just think by being our own biggest critics, but we did a few. I think
we need to hand out some awards. Yeah, I think we need to hand out some awards. I think that's how we need to frame this. So
most likely to lose their train of thought in a podcast.
Definitely
goes
me.
to Ethan Shalloway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Just
anyway, so what were you gonna say?
Yeah. A couple of the episodes. Early on, I'm not a big fan of our earlier work. Because I don't think I was polished at all.
That's fine.
Probably didn't sound good. I was saying but or all the fucking time. But we did an episode on 10 for the 10th episode, which is way up there in terms of the acclaim that it gets from the listeners. And that was a good one at the beginning. After we did that, I remember closing down the Zoom and thinking that, okay, that was pretty good. I think we're starting to learn how to do this. Then we did Into the Wild movie and album after that. That one was super fun. And that was kind of the beginning of getting a little deeper into some different things. And obviously, I think that builds into some of the mental health stuff that we did. And
may get the award for most philosophical, that episode, possibly.
Do you have I think I would like to award the most fun episode for us to have done.
Has to be April 1st, right?
April 1st, what I was thinking was Friday Beers.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Friday Beers, yes. That's a
Friday Beers, that was the best one.
Friday Beers was an incredible episode to record. I really did like the April 1st episode. I just like the April. That one always stands out to me. So that is a good one as well. Damn, I forgot about the Friday Beers. That's fun.
That was we're due another time for an episode similar in style to that, with several ice cold domestic light beers lined up for us. But,
we're trying. It's
we're
coming.
Trying. Although I think we filled the quota this week, so we're gonna have to go on hiatus for a little bit after our hangouts this past weekend. But
So,
everything in moderation.
In the words of my friend, dry January starts today.
Dry season is officially here.
Dry January.
In addition to looking at some of the episodes that that really jumped out at me, there's 2 that jumped out at me as ones that I don't like, and it was just the circumstance, because you were competing at the Olympic trials and you were out on the West Coast for a couple of weeks, I think, after that. And you're obviously not going to bring your fucking podcast microphone to Eugene, Oregon for the Olympic trials. So I went alone for 2 weeks in a row, and I just remember feeling really weird about doing that, and it was a little uncomfortable. And I don't know if I were to listen to it now if I passed the eyes and ears test, but hopefully I did. But I remember that was definitely challenging, and as a result, I don't love those episodes. I picked a couple softball topics, I think, back.
The road trip song episode. I like those episodes. I thought you did a really good job. I actually wanted to challenge myself and do an episode like that as well.
Hey,
so I thought it would
give me a week off. I'll take it.
I was going to say, well, I think it would be kind of cool. We could also do we could split up an episode. Me, you, and
Segment.
Drew do. We could do 20 minutes a piece, all on the same topic, without.
That would be really cool. Like if we picked a song or something, and it was like, what is your interpretation of this song?
Yes,
and then
exactly.
And then you just juxtapose what mine is without having the back and forth. That would be really cool. Phase 2. I
was thinking
about
a whole
lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. So I thought you did a good job, because I think it's tough to monologue for, let alone an hour. I don't think they weren't an hour long, but.
Then when you do like the out of body thing while you're 20 minutes into the episode, and you just think to yourself, I'm sitting in my living room talking to myself through a computer with headphones and a microphone. Like,
Yeah.
You just can't help but feel, I think, a little self-conscious about that. But we trucked through. It took me a couple of false starts at the beginning. Well, that's usually how it is with me when I open up the episode anyway. So at least I was consistent there. But you mentioned phase 2, so we've got another 52 episodes lined up here, coming in 2022 and then the early half of 2023. What are some things, since you are in charge, we're both in charge. What are some things Ethan Shalloway wants to do here? What are we trying to get into?
That's great. Hold that. I want to say one more. I want to give out one more award or one more, I don't know, just thoughts on the episodes. Even though we probably could just go back, but I thought that two episodes that surprised me, I guess how they turned out how they turned out was definitely the In Utero episode and the STP core album.
Core episode.
The core album episode, really, I think that was because that was one of the most organic kind of, I don't know, realizations, or just kind of like when we had the organic conversation, of course, and it was just kind of like we found some new things out and we kind of like really talked it out. And then the In Utero one, I think maybe it was just because we haven't spent as much time in those albums. So when we listened to it, we were kind of excited and we had like pretty fresh. Of course we listened to them a bunch, but like it was like almost like fresh insights, and it worked out really well, and they were great episodes. So I think those two were surprising. I think you'd agree. I
vividly remember the core one and being really fired up after that one. And that's another thing for me. I never really know going in how it's going to turn out, or how the excitement you may or may not have translates, because there've definitely been times where either you or I have sat down and we haven't really wanted to record, but we had to because it's getting late in the week, or there's been times we've been really excited, and you never know how it's gonna translate to the field of competition.
Right. All right. So as far as phase 2 and what I am excited for the next year, we've talked about what we want to do, and that have interview different people within the music scene and bands and whatnot. And I mean, it's kind of lame, but that is what I'm excited for. I'm excited to get other voices on this page. We had a really good interaction all weekend, obviously, but in more specifically with somebody in a local band around Birmingham. And it was just fun to talk music. And I'm like, dang, I was like, we should just have this on the podcast. And although the followers, they may not, they have something to look up in the band, but like, just because it's not, Chris Cornell or Eddie Vedder or Kurt Cobain that were, whoever, the people that, those people, not all people can be on the podcast, but if it's not about them specifically, or those people are as guests, it's still really good conversation. And, everybody has something to give. So I think we're going to be, we're going to really spread our wings and and reach out to different people that, you may not expect, but I think that you're going to really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'm right there with you, as that's something that I'm looking forward to, and really just wanting to have interesting conversation with people who are interesting, because I think the one thing that makes any project or any piece of art or any creation good is the passion that's behind it. And I'd like to think that you and I both bring good levels of passion and interest for the things that we talk about. And certainly how many people we've met, or people we know, or people that we're yet to meet, that just have a lot of passion in there. They're excited to share things. They're excited to talk about these things. And I'm really excited to do that. And it's a good time for me to kind of remind myself of the big advice that our Chris Cornell tells us. You got to do the work. And I think that's something we're going to do the work, and we're going to do our best to get those perspectives and really try to open up this podcast as a good space for people to share their passions, share their insights and experiences. And also, it's a small place, but even just give people the opportunity to be heard where they might not be heard otherwise, and hopefully get the word out about some music and some artists. And I know there's a couple in my head that I'd like to get moving on pretty soon, but that's what's exciting to me. So I think we're both aligned in that regard. Yeah,
and I think I know we've talked about, I would love to get some bands on and like live listen to a song, and do some release stuff with people. And even though we're working on the numbers, and hopefully we can be a really solid outlet with the podcast, so people can obviously it's beneficial for them to play their music on it, but that would be really cool to listen with the artist and talk to them about it. I think that's got to be that's got to be coming down the pipes for us.
Yeah, that would be super cool. And that's definitely when we first started musicians. I think that's something that I've been excited about. And just to be able to have them on. Also, something that really has nothing to do with anything, but I think it's important. I didn't even realize this until just now. This is the exact sweatshirt that I wore for the first episode.
Oh.
So either everything's coming full circle or my wardrobe sucks and I need to get some new stuff.
How did you remember that specifically?
I don't know. I have a weird fucking memory though, man. You know that.
You just
random stuff.
Are you in the same position like your desk? Like is it
I'm in a different house. I was
I moved rooms. Yeah.
Yep.
You moved apartments, that's right, yeah.
Things were different then.
All is different now.
That's just the way that it goes. But yeah, man, this is I'm excited for phase 2. And there's something strange for me anytime we get together in person. And we tend to have conversations about not even specific to this, just about life. Like I always come out of time we spend together, energized to do things that I'm passionate about, and energized to do the work to attain results in the areas that I'm passionate about. And I think that's one thing, as we say a lot of times, any relationship that you have with a friend or family member or whoever, at all times they're either adding value or taking it away. And I think certainly your friendship adds so much value to my life, and I always feel energized to kind of get after it and lay it on the line a little bit.
I totally agree. There's like, just how you have a training partner and you have somebody that, it's just better to do that's what we talk about. That it would be really great if we lived in the same area for a lot of reasons, obviously, but just in general.
We're gonna make that happen one day.
I think so too. And
I think we will. I think we have to. But it's weird, like, after this weekend, and I still carry it with me today, like, for some reason, I don't know any other way to say this, but life just feels big right now, in the good way, not in the daunting or overwhelming way, but big in the sense that there's a lot out there, and it's up to you where you want to go, which is always super, super cool. And it's one of those things you always know that it's true, but sometimes you don't feel it evident in your day-to-day life. And I feel that way right now, which is super cool. So it's like that weird combination of, I guess, like conversations, experiences, and like the art that I've ingested recently that's got me feeling that way, but I'm pretty fired up about it.
Yeah. Speaking of art that you've ingested and us being together, so I just want to let everybody know. So Sunday, Chris left on Sunday at about 7:00 or so. But so we woke up, we got brunch, and we had just been together for like 3 nights or whatever. He came in Thursday night.
Yeah, and a couple days.
And we stumbled down the road after brunch, picked up the car, and stumbled into a brewery that I go to all my shows, the local shows that I've talked about on here a ton. And I wanted to show Chris, obviously, the stomping grounds where we see good music. So we got a beer, and we asked the bartender. He said, "There's a band on the stage." And said, "Who's playing today?" And he shrugged his shoulders, says, "I don't know." And I said, yeah. I guess I should ask somebody that worked here, but thank you. And so we take our beer, we have our sunglasses on, and it's a beautiful, no cloud in the sky. We're just hanging out. We sit down, and there's a little thing to scan that says what bands are playing. And lo and behold, we walked in on basically School of Rock. It's a rock band league. And for the next afternoon, Chris and I, you probably saw it on the story, but we were
there for like 2.5 hours. It was a little
longer. I think it was a little longer. We didn't leave till
3.5.
We didn't leave until 5:15, and we probably got there around 2. Maybe
earlier.
So anyway, we watched, and there was like each band went up and played. So basically, it's the rock league, rock band league, and it's a school just like School of Rock, and they make a band and they have a tour. They have 3 tour dates where they play, they play all day, and each band gets 2 songs. And we saw some like 12-year-old rockers, some older, rockers, some older, all of them. And it was so freaking awesome. Cool. Oh my gosh. I was so happy that we rolled into it. Of course, the first band, they played Tears for Fears, and then they played Nirvana, and it was epic. It was so dang cool.
Yeah, when they rolled into Teen Spirit, I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. But it's so cool because like I still don't really play much music. I suck at the guitar. I'm not good at it. It's always so cool to me to see young people like that play, not only playing but performing. Like that's fucking cool. That's really
and they had
cool.
an audience. They had
there were a lot of people there. What do you say? There's probably at least 300, 400 people there.
Yeah, throughout the day. I mean, it got pretty packed to start, and that is that's something that I hope that those kids never forget. And one, I hope they keep playing so they have a lot more shows coming their way. But dang, it's so I just love the the musician school and like playing shows together and coming to like the collaboration, that similar skill level interest, and they all play, and it was really, really cool.
And it's really cool too, because that's probably one of the stronger ways that older music can survive. I mean, you had kids up there playing 40, 50-year-old songs, and they know how to play them, and they're singing the lyrics, and I think that's really cool too, because I mean, how else are you going to get exposed to some of this really, really older stuff? And I don't know. It's just it just goes to show you, like, music's for everybody. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter who you are. What you do, and if music's something that you're interested in, there's always a place on the stage for you. So that was super fucking cool. I don't know if there's more of those around, but if I played music as a kid, that would have been really cool to be a part of.
100%. I was like, I wanted to text. I texted like everybody that was there and tell them it's something that I believe in so strongly. Like having kids play together early, it was so cool to see it because it was unexpected. I always say the best thing I did in high school was to be in a band together and play shows. So those kids are ahead of it, and it's cool. I was thinking, just how, like you said, the music stays alive through these schools. I mean, I remember my first drum lesson. You get the older drum teacher, and he's like, all right, he's like, first song you're gonna learn is Crazy Train on the drums, like, and then you get to play their favorite, whatever they think is the best intro for so it's just funny how that works.
It was really cool.
It was super enjoyable.
Seems like there were a lot of coaches out there who really liked Tom Petty. There were like 6 Petty songs they were playing. kind of awesome. Only one grunge song, but
I know, I'm surprised we didn't hear some Pearl Jam.
I was hoping for some Alive, but
what if they played Wood?
They played Wood. I would have, one, created a record label, and 2, immediately signed them as the first act to the label. All at the brewery. Like we would have done that, and we would have had to. So maybe for the next tour date, we can leverage one of them into playing Wood. I'm gonna have to come back down.
I'm gonna call the coaches right now. Yeah, the Battle of the Bands is mid-April, so
they got time. They got time to learn. They got 5 weeks, 4 weeks.
Wow, that was sweet. Yeah, that was
super
stuff.
Sweet. So that
got me fired up. That's got me fired up. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all I want to say.
All this shit in my head, at least, is connected. Just like the passion and music and the community and everything. And I think all of the elements that make something like that really cool to see, and also really cool to be a part of, are the same things that make this show really cool for us to be able to create, and hopefully it makes it really cool for everybody to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty sweet. So we're rolling into phase 2, man.
Good.
It's gonna be really good.
So what else? What else can we talk about with the podcast? I know it's kind of it's just kind of it's fun to look back. I mean, hopefully, we won't have to do this for a while now, because I feel like we just had our
52 more weeks until we got to do this.
Yeah, we just had our Grunge Bible birthday. We had the New Year, and then we have the Grunge Bible year anniversary, and then we're gonna have 8-9 months now where we won't have to do anything kind of reminiscing. Even though we love that shit, so we're gonna Even though what was the Soprano quote?
Remember when is the lowest form of conversation.
Oh man.
That's pretty good, but that's everything that I'm excited about. I think by some accident here, we've created something that people seem to like, and it's always interesting. I'd say every 6 or 7 episodes, Ethan, we have either an episode or a segment where it's pretty much just us having the conversations that we have all the time about things, and strategizing and kind of dreaming up what's to come, and it's I think it's really cool to have that and release that, and so people can kind of see where our heads are at. I know that's a scary thought, but here they are.
Yep, you getting the dream casting version of Grunge
The
Bible
gloves
right
are
now.
off.
Yeah, the gloves are off, exactly.
The gloves have officially come off. So, Ethan, unless you have anything else to add, I think Song of the Week is on deck, and I know I have something that I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
Every time, like I said, every time we hang out, I end up getting pretty fired up about music again. And not that I'm not always fired up. I usually can get pretty excited. But yeah, this weekend we listened to a lot of like indie punk rock.
Yeah, we kind of did
stuff. And I'm firmly in that lane today.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
I would love to go first.
Is this your official, I guess, your last one of the year, if we want to put it that way, or
exactly. This is my 52nd song of the week.
There it is. Yeah, that's there it is.
That's a lot of songs.
There's a lot of songs. Let's hear it. So
my song of the week is from a band called Mom Jeans, and the song is called Edward 40 Hands.
Hell yeah, love that song.
It's so perfect, and it's funny because the chorus kind of ties into something that we mentioned on episode 51, and something that I know we said back and forth to one another this past weekend, no less than 300 times. And the chorus is, I don't mind that you lie sometimes because I lie too. I guess I'm just like you. And that's a direct callback to the day I tried to live by Soundgarden, where I learned I was a liar just like you. And yeah, man, I don't know what it is about like this kind of punk, indie rock, alt, whatever you want to call it, but bands like Mom Jeans, The Front Bottoms, Modern Baseball, all that stuff, I've been hammering those lately, and I don't know what it is. It's just it's different than what I've historically listened to, and it's fresh to me, and it's got energy, and I'm excited about it. So I'm listening to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you mad? Are you mad about it? Whose fault is it?
Whose fault is it? Well, it's your fault. You got me.
Are you mad about it? You
definitely got me into this, and I'm in the zone right now, and you can probably tell because I'm starting to talk faster. Where I'm starting to get into like a different phase in some bands. Like today, I've started to go deeper in The Front Bottoms, and I know I'm at the tip of the iceberg, and I know there's some great shit out there if I do the work to listen, and I'm super excited to get out there in the trenches and do the work and listen and find the songs that are my favorite from these bands, because I'm starting to like these bands, and I know that there's going to be something out there that I'm really, really going to identify with, and that's going to add a lot of value. I always get excited about that.
Yeah, and I know you're going to do that. You're going to do the due diligence to find those gems, which is pretty cool. That is a great song. I really like Mom Jeans. I saw them. They opened for Alan's Mouth back a year ago.
Oh,
or actually, almost 3 years ago that I saw them. 2.5. But right when I got here, they were in Birmingham. That's awesome. I thought maybe we were going to get a TFB, but that's coming later. I know. It's just like my Goose song is coming later.
Just on hiatus. They got to take a break.
Well, what you want to do is you just want to kind of like really figure out the catalog before you go ahead and put one on the playlist. I understand. That's what I'm doing, at least.
Well, it's a big endorsement, and
it's true.
You can't betray that confidence.
On one of the biggest playlists in the world of I don't even know how many
owners.
Yeah. So my song. So I guess a week ago, I was able to go to a concert, and I saw Sydney, Dashboard, and James Eat World.
James Consumes the Earth.
Yeah, James Consumes the Earth. Jimmy Eat World, and my PT, Andrew, he was there, and he's like, he wasn't staying for the middle. He was staying for another song, and that was Hear You Me. And he's like, I'm staying for Hear You Me, and then I'm leaving. And he did. He stayed. He didn't stay for the middle was their final song of their set list before the encore. But he left after Hear You Me. And I obviously was there as well and listened to it, and then listened to it on the way home and checked it out, because he said it's just like, it makes him, tears him up. It gets him teary-eyed every time. And so my song of the week is Hear You Me by Jimmy Eat World, and it is off the album Bleed American. And it's just it's about two fans that died in a car accident, and they were really big fans, and they would always say Hear You Me, and that they wrote a song about them, and I think that's really cool. So it was a good it's just a good kind of slower build, and just kind of good kind of alt rock song that I was kind of fired up about. So shout out to Andrew, James Eat World, and then rest in peace to the people that the song is about.
Definitely.
It's got it all.
I'm gonna once we get off here, I'm gonna listen with intent to that one, and probably I'll be affected by it.
Do the same, yeah.
That'll change the mood, but it's important to give songs like that their due. So we have a couple of new additions to the Song of the Week playlist here. I'm excited about that. My math is correct. That means that we have 104 songs at least on there. We had one week where we did 3 and we had a couple doubles, so I think the numbers might be a little bit higher. But
yeah, I'm sure that it's a little off. I'm sure I'm probably doubled up or missed, because I know we both put the same song on, but then I don't know. Let me look.
Liar.
Let me see how many followers do you think the playlist has? Oh, how many likes that is?
Oh, I just saw this. I think it's like 200, 300 or something.
Not quite 130. There's 130 people.
We gotta pump those numbers up. What are you guys doing? Get over there. Follow. So 2 things. You gotta follow the Song of the Week playlist, and you have to become a patron.
Wigwam is on there by Bob Dylan. That was one of my favorite ones by you, Wigwam.
That is important. That's the best part about Song of the Week.
Mature fantasy, no bells on Sunday. Oh yeah. It is fun to go back and look.
We like a very wide variety of music, and you never know what the other person's gonna bring, and that's why I don't send you my song link before I share it with you on the air, because I need the genuine reaction.
Hell yeah.
And can't be a liar.
I mean, there is, everybody's on here. Warren Zevon, Kanye West. We put a Kanye song on. There's a ton. Olivia Rodrigo. All on there. Because we are taste makers, in the words of
taste
Lederman.
Makers, and we don't fucking miss. We just don't.
Mm-hmm.
So here's to another year of not missing, Ethan.
Here's to another year. So that brings us to the end of this wonderful episode, wonderful time together. And all I have to say is rock and roll, stay heavy, become a patron, because 1, it supports us. 2, that's really badass of you to support other people. And 3, you can win some awesome prints come April 1st. So just do yourself a favor and join the League of Patrons.
Absolutely. So we will be back with you on Monday, March 28th. So I think that's our half birthday, Ethan, isn't it?
Yeah. We're born in September 28th.
My math was correct for once. Do you see that on the fly right there?
That was really impressive.
I told you. I just said we don't fucking miss. I didn't miss.
No.
So
another dinger.
Another dinger
By Chris.
12 for 12. So that does it for episode 52 of the Grunge Bible Podcast. Next week, happy half birthday to you, Ethan, in advance.
I will say this. I think that half birthdays and half holidays should get more recognition. I think their half birthdays make sense to me.
But
especially,
let's
imagine, especially people that are born on holidays or Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
they need their day.
Switch that. Yeah, do the half birthday thing and just commit to celebrating December, so June 25th.
Absolutely.
Hot take.
Or
July 25th. Actually, Christmas in July. What am I thinking? Anyway.
What are you thinking? Anyways, we digress.
We digress. Thank you guys so much. It's been a great year, and here's to phase 2.
Here's to phase 2, everybody. Stay heavy.